The headlines. Jigawa diphtheria outbreak kills 10 children, 91 cases reported in Jigawa State. Troops engage kidnappers in gun duel, rescue victim in Enugu State. Benue students lament high cost of stationery. And away from Nigeria, exiled Central African Republic President Bouazizi sentenced to life. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us. We start with health. Jigawa State Ministry of Health has confirmed the death of 10 people suspected to have died of diphtheria disease, which is or has been recorded in 14 local government areas in the state. The permanent secretary in the ministry, Salisu Muazu, made the confirmation while fielding questions from newsmen in his office. Muazu explained that so far, said 2 cases had been confirmed at Kazaure and Jahun local government area. Of some samples have been taken to Abuja for confirmation. According to him, the epidemic had been recorded at areas with 0 dose of routine immunization in the affected local government areas in the state. Muazu noted that the ministry had already conducted investigation and collected necessary information and data in the affected areas and updated the National Primary Health Care Development Agency, the NPHDA, and National Disease Control, NDC, for further actions. The diphtheria outbreak is posing a great public health care or health risks to residents of Borno State, where dozens of people infected are dead. The State Director of Disease Control, Dr. Aliyu Mailafia, said this in an interview with Trust TV on the outbreak of the disease in Borno. The report.
Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) has revealed that diphtheria, a highly contagious and potentially life-threatening bacterial disease, has killed scores of people in the country. Field Communication Officer of an international health organization, Medicines Sans Frontières (MSF), through Abdul Karim Yakubu, said MSF teams treated 6,707 suspected and confirmed cases in Kano, 110 cases in Borno, and 21 cases in Bauchi. It said several other suspected cases are under surveillance across the country. However, around 4,000 suspected cases were recorded nationwide. Borno State Director of Disease Control, Dr. Aliyu Mailafia, explains the causes, spread, and preventive measures to curtail the contagious disease in the state.
Diphtheria is an acute disease. The diphtheria is caused by a bacteria called Corynebacteria diphtheriae, which can infect anybody, but is more common in children below the age of 4. However, in our situation in Borno State, most of our cases, about 70% are ages above 2 years to 14 years.
Women and children aged under 5 are said to be the most vulnerable groups and are the people most affected in the society.
For Borno, we have about 262 suspected cases, those who shows the sign of the disease. But among those, only 14 were confirmed to have diphtheria. So, and also all these numbers are in 8 LGS. So we have already conducted targeted response to these diphtheria outbreaks in those settlements where we have cases, suspected cases. So we have conducted, and now those of Mobile is ongoing now. They are doing the vaccination now.
Diphtheria can lead to difficulty in breathing, heart rhythm problems, and even death. It is, however, preventable with vaccines for infants, children, teens, and adults.
In security, the troops of 103 Rare Battalion of 82 Division Nigerian Army, presently on Operation Udoka 2, had rescued one Maxwell Ayim between Four Corner Agbogwe Junction in Udi local government area of Enugu State. This was contained in a statement issued in Enugu on Saturday by Lieutenant Colonel John Unuakalu, the Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations, 82 Division, Nigerian Army. Unuakalu said Ayim was rescued on Hot on Thursday. According to him, the rescue operation was conducted when troops deployed at Udi checkpoint received a distress call from the police on the incident. Unuakalu said on arrival, the troops came in contact with the kidnappers, adding that due to the troops' superior fire, members of the criminal gang fled in disarray with gunshot wounds into the nearby bushes. The army spokesman said the gallant troops, during further exploitation of the gang withdrawal route, found the victim abandoned by the gang. The Borno State Police Command has arrested one Dauda Musa, a repentant Boko Haram member who allegedly killed his ex-wife in Borno. The command's public relations officer, ASP Sani Kamelu Shatambaya, who paraded the suspect before newsmen, said that he was arrested after the police declared the suspect wanted. It was gathered that the suspect killed the divorced wife after he caught her with another man who is alleged to be her boyfriend. He killed and buried her in a shallow grave. The Niger State Police Command has apprehended 5 suspects in possession of a human skull for alleged money rituals. They were arrested along the Minabida Road in the state. Initially, it was reported that 2 of the suspects, Isa Muhammad, 26, and Idris Muhammad, 28, both from Sakpe village in Edati local government area, were caught with a skull wrapped in a bag by a sister security agency during a routine patrol. The 2 suspects were later handed over to the State Police Area Command in Bidda for further investigation. During questioning, they revealed the names of 3 others who assisted them in exhuming a corpse and removing the head. Confirming the incident in Minna, the State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Wasiu Abiodun, stated that the suspects were intercepted in a Mitsubishi Lancer vehicle by a sister security agency at the toll gate along Bidda Minna while searching the passengers on September 11, 2023. The additional suspects include Ibrahim Jia, 18, Suleiman Usman, 22, and Abdullahi Usman, 24, all of the same address. Vigilante groups are increasingly becoming the last line of the defense for local communities battling banditry and insurgency in northern Nigeria. Even as non-state actors, the local vigilante groups in northwest Nigeria are in the forefront of the fight against banditry. In this report, Jamil Mabayi chronicles vigilantism and its evolution into a strong force in Katsina State. The report.
Katsina is one of the frontline areas battling banditry, but has leveraged and utilized the use of vigilante groups in the fight. According to experts, these groups possess an intimate knowledge of the local terrain but lack the rudiments of executing war.
In almost every village in the state, there are some groups who are called vigilantes, the so-called volunteer groups, and they are composed of people from the locality. Some of them are ex-policemen, ex-military, some are even working.
From using local Dane guns to pump-action shotguns, the civilian JTF, as they are called, have improved their defensive and offensive strategy on account of persistent bandits' attacks.
The government agreed with our supervision that they will train them in the appropriate place They will invite the army and the police to train them, and which the government did. And they assured them that since now they are getting to learn the rudiments of warfare, they will be encouraged to acquire the necessary weapons that are legally allowed to be carried by citizens.
One of the key advantages of vigilante groups is their understanding of the region's terrain, including hidden routes and hideouts commonly used by bandits.
Most of these vigilante members are from the immediate environment, that is, immediate communities. They know the terrain more than the security agents, and in most cases, they know these bandits and they are informants more than the security agents.
And the good advantage of these vigilantes, they know the terrain, each and every one of them. If you go to Bazari, the vigilantes that are there, they know every nook and corner of Bazari, and they know the hideouts of the bandits. They know their capacities. They know their identities.
Unlike conventional security operatives backed by law and rigorous training, vigilante groups are often engaged in activities that frustrate the fight against banditry.
I've seen a lot of cases where extrajudicial killings were involved.
Especially in the area of security, we are doing as much as possible to ensure that we bring about some innovations in the security architecture of the state that will help us to mitigate the activities of the bandit and
The Katsina State government says it has so far recruited at least 1,500 community watch volunteers drawn from the 8 frontline local government areas of the state to complement the war against bandits. These volunteers have the backing of the law, unlike the vigilante groups in the state. Jamilu Mabai, Trust TV News, Katsina.
The rising cost of stationery items is taking a toll on students in Benue State. Jimmy Azande, who spoke to a cross-section of students in Makurdi, the state capital, reports that the development is negatively impacting academic activities of the student. The report.
Essentially, pen and paper are the most useful items the students require for their academic pursuit. In recent months, the cost of these items have multiplied. That's according to the respondents.
As a student, before a photocopy, 1 copy was 10 naira. Then, when you take like 5 copies to a cafe to photocopy your work, it will just cost you 15 naira. But now, 5 copies is up to 250 naira. So, as a student, it's not easy for us to endure this.
Price of commodities in school, especially writing materials, have gone up, and it's not very comfortable with us students. Imagine our parents send money; they are not aware of the price of the increase in prices, and they send the regular money they send to us. But going to the market to buy things, imagine I went to the market day before yesterday, and today I'll meet a different price entirely.
The price hike, they said, is not unconnected with the subsidy removal by the federal government.
Over time, due to this increase in the prices of things, fuel subsidy removal, which we call cost of energy, increase in cost of energy, there has been over 100% increase in the prices of materials. As students, for pens, Bics were 50 naira, now is 100 naira. Books rise from 40 leaves was 100 naira, now is 200 naira, 60 leaves, something like that.
The multiplier effect is reflecting on related goods and services, making it difficult for most of the students.
And also in rent, there's also a tremendous increase in the amount to pay for rentage, because even the landlords, they'll have to go to the market, and because of the rise in prices, they have to charge such a way that they will be able to have that which they demand. And so the rise in prices have so much reduced the cost of living for students, and to the extent that it even affects their academic performances.
They are calling on the Benue State government to intervene, as some students are already contemplating abandoning studies because of the current economic crisis. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, we will take a look at social experiments on couples splitting bills. This and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. We brought you diphtheria outbreak kills 10 children, 91 cases reported in Jigawa State. And troops engage kidnappers in gun duel rescue victim in Enugu State. Now moving on to more stories. Despite the dangers involved, a lot of residents live under high voltage electric lines. Ibrahim Ismail speaks to residents and development regulatory body on the dangers of building houses under high tension power lines. The report.
Experts say residing under these high voltage electric wires is dangerous and it could be deadly sometimes. Are Nigerians aware of the consequences of erecting structures under the powerful electric wires? Gombe residents share opinions.
Building on a high tension, under the high tension is very, very risky because it can cause havoc, especially when it sparks. And the sparks can even touch the house, and through this touching the house can even catch fire. And it's very, very risky in the society. So for me, it is not advisable to buy land. If I am to buy land now, I will check where the high tension did not pass. I will find a place whereby it is safe.
But surprisingly, some people are aware of it, yet they keep staying near the high tension lines or under the high tension lines. While in some cases, it's clearly a case of ignorance. Some of the local people don't really appreciate or understand the danger of doing so. And in some instances, I'm privileged to know that there are people that know that yes, there is a danger in this, but because of the pressure of society, I mean social pressure, either they have a shop that is recognized there, or they have a business, or even if they want to relocate, they don't have the capacity to relocate now, they've been deceived into buying the plots. It has become also difficult for them to move away from the high tension lines.
Gombe State Urban Planning and Development Authority said it will not relent in the enforcement of laws that banned building structures on high-tension wires.
All these high-tension wires are built in the bush, throughout the bush. They follow areas that no residential buildings there. But now people are increasing, and what they don't know is that wire, they are supposed to give right of way, because that wire is very dangerous to everybody, including us. So we are demolishing any building that is on the right of way.
Experts say residing under high-tension wires exposes one to great environmental hazard, while living close to telecommunication masts could expose people to radiation, which may cause health complications. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Marital life requires resources to sustain, and the man shoulders the responsibilities to cater for the needs of the family. But nowadays, couples split their bills equally against the age-long cultural practice. Trust TV's Bello Musa speaks to a cross-section of Kaduna residents who shared their experience on the concept of joint account by couples. The report.
In African culture, husband is the head and the provider of the needs of the family. Against the spirit of this culture and the tradition, couples now jointly work to cater for the family needs due to many reasons. Some Kaduna residents expressed their views on the splitting of bills in the matrimonial homes.
Once you have a joint account in the family, which is maybe you are funding the account and your husband is funding the account, you can use the money to do some emergency. In terms of emergency, like maybe your children are sick, you might use the money to take them to the hospital and the rest. I think it's a good idea and I can do that.
Yes, couples buying things together, sharing responsibilities within the family is a good thing. In fact, it's a sign of unity amongst the family.
The issue of a joint account is something that is happening in the Western world, not in our culture here. In our culture, we have seen it a man be the head of the family, a man be the owner of the account, a man be the ones paying the bills in the house, a man be the one paying for the food we eat in the house, not a woman be the one paying for the bills of the house, pay for the food we are eating in the house, except the man is the man is sick.
In olden days, during our own time, we do everything with our couple. Like our wife, we can do whatever we like, say, so see this, because we have good thinking during that time. But as at now, life has changed.
Though joint account creates stability and strengthens the bonds of union between couples, this comes often with disadvantage.
But it has its own disadvantage because some of us are entangled with our culture, which permits us to have one or more wives. What if I build my home with my husband and build a house together, and later he comes up that he wants to get married? Will I allow him come bring the woman to my house? No.
I am a clear testimony. I did that with my wife. We are still together. But unfortunately, once there is a discord, once there is disagreement, it affects even the account you tend to develop as a result, with a view, to take care of the problem that will emerge, within the family.
Okay, let's come to that aspect. This woman wants to assist her mother. They say, only my mother needs some money. I want to take from that account. I want to send to my mother. The husband will spring up the same idea. Only my mother equally need money. I want to take from that account and send to my mother. Many say it is against the African culture to allow women fend for the family. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Away from Nigeria now, exiled former Central African Republic President Francois Bozize, who now leads a rebel coalition, has been sentenced to forced labor for life for conspiracy, rebellion and murder in the chronically unstable nation. Bozize, who seized power in Car in 2003 but was toppled a decade later, was sentenced in absentia on Thursday, according to a judgment. Two of Bozize's sons and 20 other co-accused, who included rebel leaders, were also handed the same sentence in absentia. They were also convicted of compromising internal security and murders, according to the judgment by an appeal court in the capital, Bangui. Bozize, 76, who was in exile in Chad until March when he moved to Guinea-Bissau, led an alliance of rebel groups called the Coalition of Patriots for Change, the CPC, formed in December 2020 in a bid to overthrow Bozize's successor, Festus Archange Touadera. Finally, in sport, Odion Ighalo was among the goal scorers as Al-Wehda trashed Aba 4-0 in their Saudi Arabia Professional Football League clash. Ighalo was on target in the 88th minute of the encounter. It was the 34-year-old's fifth goal in 5 league appearances for Al-Wehda. The striker meted a hat-trick in his club's previous game against Denmark, which they won 4-2. Al-Wehda moved to 7th position on the Saudi League table following the win. Ighalo was the top scorer in the Saudi top flight in the 2021-2022 season with 24 goals. He scored 19 goals in 27 league appearances for his former club Al Hilal last season. And with that, we wrap up News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. You can join our YouTube Live for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.